guys, have you ever wanted to conduct a business impact analysis? When you take into consideration the fact that ransomware is on the higher than ever before, and we're talking about the fact that organizations can be so severely affected. I mean, we are talking about reputational damage. I mean, investors' confidence, I mean, being affected. And the list goes on as it relates to the impact that a ransomware or a cyber attack can actually do to an organization or a business reputation. So as a cybersecurity professional, then it's very handy to actually know where to look in terms of capitalizing on those various tools that can be used to assist in this process. So let's say you're given a task by your organization, your department, to say, look, we need to conduct a business impact analysis on our organization. And you might be asking yourself, where do I go? Do I call an external organization or a company? But this is a starting point for you. So let us quickly look at this tool, and it is called the CIS. And more than often, you would have heard about the CIS controls. So this is actually developed by CIS. That's the CSAT Ransomware Business Impact Analysis tool. And it states that organizations can evaluate their likelihood of experiencing a ransomware attack and its potential impact by using the CIS Ransomware Business Impact tool. And this utility has been created by CIS in partnership with the Foresight Resilience Strategies. And the BIA, which is a Business Impact Analysis tool, applies scores for ransomware-related safeguards to estimate an enterprise's likelihood of being affected by a ransomware attack. And those who have already started assessment of using this can import the scores, and the list goes on. So let's quickly jump into this tool to see what it actually looks like. And this is your option. I'll place in a link so that you can actually access this particular resource. And straight away, you can select Get Started. So once you hit that link, Get Started, then you're required to create an account, which I've already done. So this is what the interface looks like, your CIS Ransomware Business Impact Analysis. And the aim of doing this is actually to provide you with a report that tells you your shortcomings in terms of if it is that your organization should be hit with a ransomware, what the impact would be from a reputational, from a financial perspective. So let us quickly dive into this assessment, and I will not be going through all the details of this, but I will basically just give you an idea as to where you can actually go to start playing around in terms of testing this particular application. So once you've created your account, then you'll simply log into this interface. So let's give this some time. So once you're there, then these are the various options that are available. And the very first thing is that you want to first identify the asset. So you have to understand the importance of actually going to your organization and looking at those important business information assets within the organization. Those are the assets that are critical to the organization operations. And I've actually done a video from the CyberJA, that's my YouTube channel, that you can actually access to learn the process of actually identifying your key data assets for critical cybersecurity risk assessment. So I will also place a link to this. So you definitely want to check this out in terms of being able to identify those critical data assets within your organization. So once you have done that, which is required for this aspect of the assessment. So if you're recognize that this is the first phase, your ransomware BIA assessment, and this is the layout of it. It actually gives you the description in terms of the cyber risk quantification and all the necessary details that you can actually take that time to read through all of this to get the details of what it is that you're doing. But basically, this assessment will guide you through the process of estimating the business impact of a cyber loss event due to ransomware in an organization for an individual asset of your choice. So this is where your team will sit together to decide, having identified all of your critical data assets, to look to say if this server, if this application should be affected, what is the impact to our organization operation. So you're required to identify an asset to be assessed, then identify the specific categories of loss or costs you will expect to incur in a successful ransomware attack. Then, thirdly, to estimate the cost in dollars for each category of loss. Then to use, in this case, the CIS critical controls version 7.1 or version 8. And if you are not familiar with the CIS controls, then you can actually take a look at those in terms of actually building your baseline, or to use these as a mechanism or a framework for your cybersecurity program within your organization. So these are necessary requirements. Then it tells you, once you have met the requirements, then you will be presented with an assessment report. And it also gives you in terms of who should actually use this report and how to use the report itself. All right, so once you go to next, then you're required to asset to be analyzed. So you give your asset a name, the description, maybe the department, whether it's Windows, whether it's Linux, whether it's a Mac OS, depending on whichever platform it is. What's the business unit? Is it finance? Is it marketing? Is it operations? The list goes on. And then once that is done, then you simply proceed next, complete all the various requirements. So at the end of doing this assessment, then you're again presented with an holistic report. This is what the report will actually looks like. So you have your business impact analysis, and this is a powerful resource that you can then use to present to the powers that be, the C-suite, the executives, depending on your role to the organization. Then you can actually use this information to present your findings. And most importantly, you're talking about the financial impact to the organization. If it is that the business is impacted or is affected by a ransomware attack. So this is definitely a tool that you really want to look into, as it goes down into the likelihood of reducing your risk. What is it that you need to do? It also provides a various recommendation where it is that you're falling short, where the gaps are in terms of your security control measures within the organization. Then you can take the necessary steps to ensure that these gaps are actually rectified in light of the risk that is facing your organization. Bearing in mind that cybersecurity is not about preventing, but to create a secure environment for enabling the business operation. So once you have actually done all of this, as I said before, you really want to make use of this video. I'll be placing the links to identify that asset. And also, if it is that you really want to learn to, build your skill set in terms of taking your cybersecurity career to the next level, then you can also click on this link here that will take you to this site, one of my pages that you can actually explore various, cybersecurity and GRC courses that give you practical hands-on experience in terms of, for example, doing a practical compliance management for GRC professionals, practical assessments, and we're talking about ransomware assessment, your ISO 27001 readiness assessment, and all these various best practices, and the list goes on. So guys, there you have it, looking at your CIS business impact analysis. If it is that an organization should be impacted or affected by a ransomware attack. So I definitely hope that you found this very useful, and also please, subscribe, share, and stay in touch for more updates.